18 kilowatt hours of battery storage, an inverter, a propane water heater and a complete water system with a pump and 3-stage filtration. That's what will allow my tiny house to be fully off-grid, and I'll show you how I'm fitting all of it into this tiny utility bump out without sacrificing any living space inside. A few episodes ago we built the frame for this utility bump out. Today it's finally time to finish it. But first, let's build the only interior wall that's going to separate the bathroom from the rest of the house. It's gonna be right here. So I got all of my studs cut, then my bottom plates and a top plate. I notched out this section for the door to gain some more headroom. I applied this self-adhesive foam just to seal it, and I taped the vapor barrier to the subfloor because this is the only time I can do it. Of course I will tape it all around the house, but yeah, that's on the bucket list. Let's build the wall. Now let's hope it's gonna fit. I'm gonna rotate it and put it into place somehow. Well, I didn't have a plan B here. I was completely relying on my assumption that I'd be able to move and rotate the wall into its position. To be honest, I can't believe it worked. It was a fight. Everything was in the way, but it's finally here. And I can finally imagine how big, or better said how small, the bathroom's gonna be, and it's slowly getting together. Can fit the cables through now. And finish the wall with blocking. I wanted to do this after the wall was in place to make sure the door opening would be as straight as possible. Now for the bump out door, I already cut open the house wrap. You're watching it right now, and I took all the measurements. It's gonna be double door, looking roughly like this, and I think I'll have just enough lumber to do it. This is 60 by 40 and I've got some leftovers from the walls. It's 80 by 40. I'll use a combination of both and I hope it's gonna work out just fine. So again, I cut all the pieces according to my plan and started with the door assembly. I used some leftover construction adhesive, probably overkill here, but it's still better to find a use for it than just, you know, throw it away. I wanted the door to be strong and thick enough because they will be insulated. I believe they would be strong enough with a simple frame made from 80 by 40 lumber or just standard 2x4s, but I used what I had on hand, so I sandwiched two 60 by 40s together to create a 60 by 80 frame. I used construction screws for all the connections. After the first door was done, I repeated the exact same process with the other half. So here's the door. I already tried to dry fit one of them. Of course I messed up. I misread the plan. I didn't deduct 2 centimeters for reveals, 1 centimeter at the top and 1 at the bottom. So the door is a little bit too tall, but it's gonna be easy fix. I'll remove probably top plates, cut 2 centimeters and put them back in. Let's sheet the door. I already cut this 15mm OSB. It's the same stuff I used for the walls. First let's check for square. 1388, 1387. I can live with that. My priorities for the bump out are to be strong and safe for all the technologies, especially for off-grid batteries, and thermally insulated as there will be my entire water system inside, and I live in 4-season climate with some serious winters. Looking good. Okay, now let's do the second one. I'm figuring out how to hang these doors, how to install them. So I got these hinges, 4 of them, 2 for each door, and it's gonna go like this. of course, to these spaces where there's a solid framing or backing for it. I'm not quite sure if I'm supposed to install the door part first and then to the wall framing, or vice versa, or what. But I'll figure it out. But first I'm gonna put a house wrap on the outside, insulate the inside, and then sheet it from the inside with light G. I know it's not the prettiest or the best insulation job you've seen, but that's definitely the best one you're gonna see today from me. I'm gonna use a combination of these screws and these nails. If you're not familiar with this black stuff, it's called Light G. Strong, weatherproof, thermoplastic sheeting material. If you want to know more about it, check out my second video on this channel. So this is the first panel done. It's pretty heavy, so I hope the hinges will hold up. Okay, so one done, one more to go. The last thing I need to do is to put a house wrap on the front face of the door. It almost looks like a piece of furniture or something. Now let's install the doors. First, I weatherproofed the opening with flashing, the same way I did my windows and entry door. Again, if you want to see how I did it, check out my windows installation video. Then I put the doors into place, made sure they fit nicely and spaced everything evenly to achieve consistent reveals all around. I installed the frame side of the hinges first and the door side second. I still don't know if that's the correct way to do it, but it definitely worked for me. Now for the moment of truth. The hinges are fairly heavy duty. I didn't buy the cheapest ones, but considering the weight of the door, I was still pretty cautious during the first opening. The hinges are designed to be installed with carriage bolts. Their purpose is to improve security because a typical screw could simply be unscrewed, obviously. With a carriage bolt, it's a little bit more difficult. The last thing was this massive latch for a cylinder lock, plus two spring-loaded latches to make the bump out fully lockable. Of course, I'll use carriage bolts for the latch as well. This setup is only temporary. Door is insulated. Now let's do the rest. That means these walls, roof, and the bottom. For the floor, I used a piece of this old vinyl flooring. Now for the drywall part. This is a special drywall. It's extra strong. it's water resistant, and what's most important, it's fire resistant, and that's the primary reason I'm installing it. I want to put a fireproof layer between the utility bump out and the rest of the house. Let's do it. I don't know what it's made of, but it's heavy as hell. I guess this is one of the reasons why it's so strong. I hope you can see it, but these are all the fibers that are in, so it's basically fluffy now. My first idea was to install 2 sheets horizontally, so there would be only one taper joint to fill. Well, no matter how I tried, it just wouldn't fit, so I cut another piece and installed it vertically instead. Got this special drill bit and just standard drywall screws. This part of the build was filmed in mid-December, so even though it was only around 5 or 6 PM, it was already dark outside. But I was determined to finish it, even if it meant working with a headlamp. This is the next day after some additional prep work. I fast forwarded through that part, you'll see it in a future episode. For now, let's focus only on the bump out construction itself. The very last step was drywall taping and mudding. I have never done this before, so there was definitely a steep learning curve, and at this point I was basically just YouTube educated. I think ideal drywall mud should stick when you turn your knife around. And this one almost sticks. A huge shout out to Jeff from Home RenoVision DIY and Ben the Vancouver Carpenter. I used self-adhesive mesh tape for the taper joints and paper tape for the corners. This is the result of my very first attempt to mud this drywall. This isn't actually that bad, except for this corner here. This mat I used over here was already setting. It was hard, so that was a bad idea. It doesn't hold at all. I'm gonna redo this part, but overall the rest is, I'd say, acceptable. I also got myself this set of drywall knives, which can apparently double as a mirror if needed. I redid the corner, applied the light second coat, and now the bump out is pretty much ready for my off-grid technologies to be installed. But let's save that for some future episode. Don't forget to subscribe so we won't miss it. Thank you for watching, my name is Marek and you've been watching Self-Powered. I'll see you next time. I'm not gonna sand it down because its purpose is not to be nice, but to be enclosed. And I think this should do the job. And it was a nice training before I'll do drywall inside the house.